see how close this is going to be, guys? So finally, I just got it off with like a bit of earthquake left. Hopefully we'll be okay. How the heck are you guys? My name is Fastidious. Welcome to my channel and welcome to day 18 in the free-to-play series. We're playing Watcher of Realms today, as always. We've got quite a nice video. I finally have made a big push in progress. I got through a roadblock. We are now able to clear not only stage 13, but more importantly, stage 14 in Gear Raid 2, which means there's a lot of really good, different kind of gear sets available to us. So I'm gonna have a brief guide on that, explaining how I accomplished it. And it's really gonna be a spotlight on VORTEX, because he was the key to making it happen. I will share the stats, share the gear, because I think the VORTEX I'm running is like the bare minimum build you need. So hopefully yours is stronger, but you need it at least as strong as mine, I think. On top of that, we've made some big progress in Gear Raid 1. I can now farm stage 13, which is where we can finally get mythic gear, so that should be a big boon to the account. And then a quick little check-in on the artifact material raid. We have that tournament live now. Anyway, guys, I think you'll really enjoy this video. Stick with me and let's hop on in.
Fastidious.
Fastidious.
Let's get into it, guys. It's day 18. We've made a lot of progress the past 24 hours. This is gonna be, I think, a bit of a guide on Gear Raid 2 for stages 13 and most importantly, 14, because 14 is where you get the juicy gear. Before we get into that though, we have to begin our story today at Gear Raid 1. I promise this will make sense. Okay, so the day turned over. I saw we have Lost Legacy coming, which is the Gear Raid 1 tournament. Gear Raid 1 is insanely important for my account specifically. I mean, it's important for all of us, but until very recently, I couldn't farm any mythic gear. So this is a free piece we got from the Heroes Path quests. And if you look, everyone else is wearing orange and purple gear. You'll be able to see in a second when the game unfreezes. So yeah, purple and orange, There should be one more red shield somewhere. I'll just find it for you. So yeah, oh, and I did farm one, as you're gonna hear now. But yeah, you see Scorch is wearing the other free piece we got from Heroes Path. However, as I mentioned yesterday, we have been working on Lightlock. Lightlock is really good for Gear Raid 1 with this skill right here on his ultimate, Yes, on his ultimate, deals magic damage equal to 70%. It goes all the way up to 70 when you level it up. And if you awaken him 1, splash damage to 120%. So pretty strong stuff. I don't know if that's 120 with the additional 20% there. Doesn't matter. You want to stack him with attack. Make sure he's only healing one person, so he keeps stacking his attack with this passive over here. And that's how we've been able to finally complete Gear Raid 1 stage 13, which is when you can finally get mythic gear. So I'm very, very, very much looking forward to farming Gear Raid 1 tomorrow. However, I really want to farm as high as possible during the event to be as efficient as possible, and I cannot do any better than where we are stuck now. So what is the solution to that? Well, our best Gear Raid is Gear Raid 2. So I put some work into it today, and I saw how far can we actually push in Gear Raid 2. I hadn't tried it in a few days, and on top of that, we did get mid on, so I brought her up to 5-star, and then I fully promoted her. No skill ups or anything, very, very basic gear. See, this piece isn't even, we can actually plus 12 this right now. We do have the Forge event live. So I figure if we want a chance of beating like Gear Raid 1 stage 14, or maybe stage 15, certainly the way to do that is gonna be to farm Gear Raid 2 and get much better accessories, because as you can see, we don't use very many mythic accessories. I've done very, very little gear farming. Gear is definitely a place where we're hurting on this account. We've got some mythic amulets, and this is all the mythic gear on the account, and of course lots of this isn't very good. You know, flat attack, defense percentage, flat HP, stuff we're not really using right now. So, this took a lot of tweaking. This is going to be a guide now for Gear Raid 2, stages 13 and 14, and very much featuring VORTEX. I'm sure you can use other healers, but this is going to be kind of like a VORTEX spotlight, specifically using his ultimate and timing his ultimate around the big earthquake smashes from the boss. It will make more sense once you see it, but essentially let's read moisture this water elementals vortex. So increases the healing multiplier by 45%. And keep in mind, I have fully max leveled my vortex. He's really good. I use him everywhere. So increases the healing multiplier by 45% for 20 seconds. So that's really good for keeping our guys alive. When triggered, restores HP equal to 10% max HP for all allies in range. So a nice AoE heal there when it first is triggered. If the heal amount exceeds their max HP, this is the most important part for the Gear Raid 2 fight. 150% of the excess will be converted into damage absorbing water shield that lasts for 10 seconds. That 10 seconds will make us survive those earthquake hits. So the trick is get enough HP on him that his heals bring people into excess so they get shields, and make sure his ultimate regenerates fast enough so I can get them up on time. So that the last piece there, making sure the rage regen happens quick enough, that was the big hurdle. So I think what I'm working with here, which maybe can be really helpful to some of you guys, is the absolute worst possible vortex build, like the lowest, most min-max build you could have. These are the bare minimum stats where you can still do it. So let me bring you through what we're working with here. The only things that really matter are HP, which we're looking at, what, about, oh my God, 27,000 HP, a little bit more than that. So not very much. I did have to sacrifice a good amount of HP to get the rage regen here. So we got it to 34.5%. And this is really like by the skin of our teeth. So I don't think you can have much less than this. And certainly if you have more, it will be a lot easier. We also made an artifact switch. This was suggested in the comments. If I can dig up the old comments to whatever video this was mentioned by whatever user, I will put it on the screen now. But a great viewer was very nice and said, you know what, you should probably put 25% initial rage, that artifact, the spirit horn, on Vortex, because it's going to help get his shields up faster. And this was very helpful, because especially that first round, we need those shields up. So I put this on. He had an AoE healing artifact. I did put that on mid-on, and it had been leveled up, so decent base stats for a legendary, not a mythic artifact. But mid-on's very much our second healer. We're then going to bring a third healer. Let me show everyone's gear, which is going to be Light Lock. So he's in like a straight up attack build. Not his best possible attack build that I use on him for Gear Raid 1, but still okay. He dies pretty quickly. Then we need our ultimate tank. So you need your best possible tank. I think this has to be a 6-star unless you have amazing legendary champions or amazing gear. So for us, that is Baron. Baron is tremendous for this fight. So I guess this will be a mini spotlight on Baron. My Baron is also max skilled up. I think I only have 3 max skilled champions. That's going to be Baron, Deimos, and Vortex. So we're using 2 of the 3 here. His ultimate is really cool. He self-shields. There is a bit of AoE. We don't care about that. What's really nice when you skill it up is the skill cost is reduced. So it's triggering a lot more shielding. But the most important thing for Baron for this fight is Immortal Wrath, which is his passive. Attacks deal extra damage, don't care. Upon receiving lethal damage, enters Unyielding. Unyielding is what matters the most. Will not die from taking damage. And then stays alive for 8 seconds. However, I'm almost certain, I think it's 12 seconds now, or maybe not. Maybe it's 8 with the skill ups. But you definitely want to skill it up because you get the increased effect duration. So this is very clutch, especially when it's like later on, if you're better, you won't have to deal with this. But for me, we need him staying up because I won't be able to get enough damage out fast enough. Okay, that basically covers it. We are going to bring Arrogance into this fight. Any DPS is fine. He's just our second best one for this fight. And then our main DPS for this fight will be Nyx. But again, these guys don't stay alive for too long. We keep them alive just long enough to kill the boss. Aside from that, we bring a second tank, so that is Regulus. Any other tank would work. You can see he's got, what, about 44,000 HP, so not a crazy build at all. Nothing else really going on. And yeah, like I think Livian would work really well. Olog, really Ardith, any epic defender would be good for this. I think that covers it. And I think we're ready to hop into the fight. I'm also bringing Ein just as a Lord. I'm bringing Decimus just for a last-minute soak-up damage. However, there's no roly-polies on this stage, so Decimus is not as relevant as he was in previous stages. Where's my Decimus hiding? There's Decimus. And then finally, I'm also bringing Dagna, who for me is essential for this fight because she is only rare, but she is a Lord for the same faction as Vortex and Midon, most importantly Vortex. What really matters here is that increase in attributes by 5%. It's better than nothing. Periodically grants faction allies shield. That's okay. If there are more faction allies on the team, more frequently it takes effect. It's really just for a little attribute boost, just to make it happen for us. I haven't tried it without her. Probably it could work without her, but we're gonna do what has worked. So as you can see, we 3-starred and we have Power of Dominance auto farm on stage 14. I'm just gonna jump right in. I will turn off Power of Dominance. Hopefully we get this on the first try. So let's head into the fight. So if we do fail, I will cut back to the screen and I'll let you know how many attempts it took us. I did just clear it okay. It seemed decently reliable, but you'll see it gets very precarious at the end. All right, so I'll talk you through it. The very thing we have to do is get Vortex out as fast as possible because we need to get his ult charged as soon as possible. And I'll just tell you right now, the trick is you trigger his ult the second it becomes available. I tried getting cute with it and waiting for the boss to be at a certain point. You just need to cycle it as fast as possible, at least with this level of rage regen that I have. It's the only way for the third earthquake that the boss does that I'm able to get the skill out on time. So I could already put mid on out here, which is what I would do. You see I already put Baron out, so this is the lane the boss walks down, so that's where you want to put your best defender. However, I'm just going to wait for the boss to come out and do his first earthquake. You see I'm instantly triggering Vortex before we even see the boss. Even though this one seems a little early, Vortex and Baron will be able to tank this. And then I don't want anyone else taking damage for no reason. Okay, so he does it 3 times. So for anyone wondering, his earthquake smash, he has 3 individual smashes and 1 earthquake skill. And now we can start getting out more units. So put our second defender here. You see I put mid on facing down, so she's able to heal these guys in the middle. I am going to place Arrogance here, so he will be vulnerable. However, we're not going to place him yet. So there we go with Lightlock, and now my main DPS is going to be Nyx right here, and you can see she's getting healed by all 3 of our healers, which is pretty important. So here comes the enemies. Keep an eye on everything, and the main thing I'm keeping an eye on is Vortex. To put the shields up. Again, we're going to do it the second it becomes available to us, so that's why I'm on 1x. There we go, and there you see he's about to trigger the earthquake, so hopefully everyone survives. There's a pretty good chance Lightlock is going to die. All right, we can trigger mid on there, and everyone is going to stay up, it looks like. Okay, now we can drop Arrogance. No reason to have him taking that damage there. All right, Lightlock did die. Lightlock tends to do that. Okay, now we can trigger Nyx. Let's just do some triggering. I will hold off there on Regulus, and this is what I use Decimus for, just to keep Regulus from taking extra damage. You might as well drop him if you have him, just to soak up some stuff. Now we can 2x it again, and now it's about a waiting and timing game and hoping we're going to be able to trigger Vortex's ult right at the right time when the third earthquake comes, but it's very close. So you can see we're dealing with these enemies fairly well with just a very minimal amount of DPS. The real issue on this stage is getting the shields up from our healing units, from our support units. So that specifically is Vortex here. So hopefully it looks like Lightlock might come back alive soon. Okay, see how close this is going to be, guys? So finally, I just got it off with like a bit of Earthquake left. Hopefully we'll be okay. I might trigger Regulus so he soaks up damage from other people. I'll put that there. Okay, so we want to survive with Nyx and Arrogance. It's going to be really, really, really close. All right, let's put Lightlock down maybe. Okay, so it looks like we just made it. So very fortunate for us there, guys. And now we've loaded up some more ultimates. So you can see there's only 1 enemy left. And that's basically what goes into this fight. Now we're just going to hopefully get some luck triggering the ultimate of Nyx and stuff. And we're going to wait on mid-on. Okay, now we can trigger mid-on. And we are going to hope we can actually place Decimus here, so what's-his-face, Baron doesn't take this hit, and now he's finally taking damage, and hopefully, while he does these big smashes, Arrogance and Nyx stay alive long enough to put out damage, and they did. That actually was a lot smoother than when I just did it before, so I'm very happy that worked out for the video. And yeah, like I said, Power of Dominance was off, excuse me, was off, so pretty easy peasy. I'll run it one more time on auto with Power of Dominance on so you can see how smooth this actually goes now. Now that we have it all set up. I tried stage 15. We're not that far off, so I think once we farm some more gear, we'll be able to do stage 15 too. I'll explain in a second after this run ends, but stage 14 is really what matters the most. So there's basically different quality tiers of gear that are available to you from the gear aids. and they come in these thresholds. So 14 is like the last main threshold besides like the ultimate thresholds, which I think kick in around 18 or 19, but that's going to be closer obviously to like end of mid game to end game kind of content. For what we're doing right now, which is just trying to get a stronger account and hopefully get Volca as fast as possible, this is kind of where we want to be. Would I love to get up to stage 15 or 16 to get, I'm assuming that's higher drops on rarer which mean quality levels, so mythic and stuff like that. Of course, I want to push that, but for now, I'm just happy to be at 14 because you'll see, when I'll show you in a second when this ends, we have access to things like glacier gear and stuff like that that is not available at the lower levels, and it is higher tier, more desirable gear. So you can see we're having no issues now with the power of dominance. So if you're like me and you can only just squeak by, don't be discouraged, because once you unlock power of dominance, this will be a really easy auto for you, and then hopefully you can farm it a bunch, get some more mythic gear, strengthen up your account, and then you'll be able to progress in other areas. So that is very much the plan here. There you go, guys. Not such a hard fight when you have power of dominance, and we did get a mythic artifact for our trouble. So let's see, not artifact, excuse me, mythic piece of gear. So let's see what we got, and then I'll go over the different gear sets with you. Okay, so here you go, good example. So this is the curse set, and this is just a lot stronger than a lot of the other things like fatality and stuff like that. So it increases damage by 6% up to 5 stacks for every enemy within attack range. So if you have a lot of enemies within attack range, so think of like Gear Raid 1 or something, you put this on like a Nyx or a Virna or an Iona or someone that just, or literally anyone, because the attack, it's not saying they have to hit them all, it just says they need to be in attack range. So Gear Raid 1, everyone's in your attack range basically. There's so many enemies you're dealing with, unless you're plowing through them, in which case nothing's a problem for you, you're doing so good. You're doing so well, you're basically going to always have a 30% increase on damage. That's a very strong set and a lot stronger than the stuff we were dealing with before. Bad flat stat there, we're not going to use it, but hopefully we farm enough, we get some more attack percentages, we get some more HP percentages, and we can, you know, take advantage of stronger gear. So what am I talking about here? Stage 13, what's available to you? The sticks. So this is plus 18% AoE damage. But if you use like the curse set, right, and you choose your stages wisely, right, the sticks on stage in the Gear Raid 1, excuse me, for that raid, you're always gonna have the 5 enemies, like I said. So if you had the stick set, you'd be getting 18%, but if you get to use the curse set over here, that's a big improvement to be getting 30%, right? So you can see here, the only things that available are the sticks, plus 18%. Fatality increases attack by 3%, and then ignoring target's defense and magic resistance. And then finally, minus 15% damage taken from the Guardian set. If we go to 14, we have those same 3, Guardian, the sticks, and Fatality, but we get these next 3, which are very, very strong, and we're pretty excited to have access to. So Night Terror increases damage by 25% for 3 seconds after making a critical hit. That's super strong if you have a high crit champion, which is eventually going to be all of your damage dealers. So they're going to have a very, very significant uptime a lot of the time on this 25% damage increase. That is very, very strong, because they'll be critting a lot, obviously. As I said, Curse, super strong as long as there's a lot of enemies in the range. So again, Gear Raid 1 is a very good example. The Gold Raid, the XP Raid, those would be other strong examples. And then finally, we have one of the coolest sets in the game, I think, the Glacier set. So you get an attack bonus equal to your max HP when deployed. So someone like any of your tanks, now they're getting a little attack based on 6% of their max HP. So you don't have to worry about just stacking HP on them. They'll still be able to put out a little damage. And then when you have damage dealing champions that do have a lot of attack, like someone like Deimos, who also has a talent that he's putting out damage based on HP, you can put some HP percentage gear on him along with attack percentage, like HP bonus and attack bonus, and really benefit. So this is a cool milestone to achieve for our account. I hope this helps with you guys. And I will say, once you can clear stage 13, look at the BP requirements. It goes from 366.5 to 369.4. These 2 stages were pretty similar in difficulty, and it's not even that big a jump to stage 15. Like I said, we're not there yet, but I think pretty soon we'll be able to do it. We'll probably stall out around 16 or 17, but this should be a big boon for the account. Yeah, and then hopefully I'll farm this today a bit, we get some more pieces, and then maybe we can push Gear Raid 1. So I will quickly show you our team on Gear Raid 1. I'll just do an auto fight. This isn't going to be a guide for that. I don't even know if everyone's geared, but let's just hop in. but you can see we can do it pretty handily, mostly just on the back of Light Lock. So normally you'd do a defender here, but I'm just using Deimos because once I unlocked Power of Dominance, it's a lot faster that way. I am taking advantage, as I tend to, with my cost generation champions. So while I like to use Narvi most of the time, here we're using Dallin. And then we're just gonna try to pump out as much damage as possible. I will say I did beat Gear Raid 14 using a friend support champion, Virna, so she helped a lot. And again, it's just proving my thesis or my hypothesis, I guess, that we are just so severely lacking AoE damage on this account. I really don't want to have to 6-star Osiren, but on this race I'm on right now to getting Volca as fast as possible, we're really gonna have to, I don't know, I really want to get her by day 30 for sure. So we have what, like 12 and a half days left, 11 and a half days. So I got to focus up, you know? So hopefully in these next 2 days, I'll do some Gear Raid 2 farming today. I also have a gold bonus I activated because I was doing gold farming earlier. We've also been doing artifact material raid farming. I'll actually show you that tournament really quickly when this run ends. But the account is improving. And I've been putting off gear farming for a long time, and that will be no more. We are completely held back by our gear right now. We do have a lot of good units, even though I might complain about my lack of AoE. We do have strong units, and I know we can push higher content if our gear is better. So that's what I need to work on. So here you can see I also unlocked a new set in Gear Raid 1, so this Whirlwind set, really cool, plus 75 attack speed. So there's definitely a lot of champs I would love to get that on. And I'll just quickly show you. So stage 12, yeah, so stage 12 has these like kind of like mid tier sets. So Life Giver, only plus 10 healing effect, Fortress plus 15% defense, Wrathful Onslaught plus 15% regen, then plus 10% attack from Savage Strike, and then Deadly Aim plus 10% crit. Not the biggest bonuses. A lot of the bonuses we get now are just straight improvements. So let me find a good example. So here, instead of plus 10 healing effect, we get plus 25 from Salvation. I know from, is it this one? So here, instead of crit rate, we get a big crit damage increase. And then, yeah, from this one, Calamity, instead of plus 10% from Savage Strike, now we get plus 25%. That's a really big difference. That's a really strong set. Here at the attack speed, that's novel and really nice. And then here we get a big HP percentage boost, which we didn't have access to before. So that's also pretty great. I think this is a good place to wrap it up, folks. Like I said, I'll quickly show you. I've been grinding the artifacts pretty hard. They might catch me, so if they get closer, I think I will push, because I like farming artifact material raid, and I think 4,000 points isn't that much, and I wouldn't mind making it 6,000 or 7,000 to get my 5 extra summons. We do have summoning events coming this weekend. You guys probably saw my video yesterday. Lots of views on it. I appreciate it, about the special ancient summoning, but on top of that, we also have our normal 2x on Invocation of Spirits, and with the 2 different kinds. I don't know what this grand prize is. This is just saying there's a rate up on the legendaries. So maybe I'll just pull up an artifact material run and we can do the outro while we watch that. Still stuck on stage 13, but I don't mind because we do get the occasional flawless meteorite, the red crystals. And while we don't get so many of those, like you can see, I only have 19 and I've only done 1 pull of those ever because it costs like 40 to do 1 pull, so 400 for a 10 pull. I have definitely noticed, this might be anecdotal, but there's a lot more gold radiant meteorite drops. I found it a lot quicker to farm than when I was farming stage 11 and 12. So guys, thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you think of the progress we're making. I would love to see, maybe for anyone that makes it this far in the video, predictions on how long you think it will take, what day we'll finally get Volca. Right now we're still blocked because we need to clear Gear Raid 1 stage 15. But I do think we're making a lot of progress. So I think as we push this kind of like moving towards higher content, we'll get better artifacts, we'll get better gear. We're going to continue to build champions when we need to. And I'm thinking within 10 days. I'm thinking about like day 27, 28. Maybe that's ambitious. Let me know what you think. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I've been Fastidious. I'll see you in the next one.
Fastidious.